First, I'd like to talk about judicial independence. And as you know, Jack Goldsmith, former head of the Office of Legal Counsel, wrote a book, this book called The Terror Presidency. I know you're familiar with it because we talked about it during our discussions. And it details some of the pressures brought to bear on Jack Goldsmith by figures in the administration who wanted him to justify what he thought wasn't right. What did you think of this book, Judge Mukasey?
I thought it was superb. I mean, talk about couldn't put it down. I was, in a way, sorry when I finished it.
Well, let's hope he doesn't have to write another one, or you don't have to write one like this.
I don't have a book in me.
Okay, thanks.
You may after these hearings.
He's having a good time, Mr. Chairman, or not a bad time anyway. Goldsmith repeatedly points out that the administration missed opportunities to put its terrorism policies on sound legal footing simply by going to Congress. In Hamden, for example, the Supreme Court chastised the administration for not going to Congress, saying the administration could not proceed with military commissions without Congress's explicit approval. And he describes one meeting where now Solicitor General Paul Clement warned that the Supreme Court might not accept the administration's arguments in support of its detention programs. On page 124, Goldsmith reportedly asks, he says, why don't we just go to Congress and get it to sign off on the whole detention program? Others supported this approach, but David Addington, Vice President Cheney's chief of staff, asked, why are you trying to give away the President's power? So they didn't go to Congress. Now, do you agree that working with the Congress in the long run actually enhances the President's power, increases public confidence, and protects policies from being rejected by the court?
As a general matter, certainly I do.
Okay. And do you commit to working with Congress before moving forward with any proposal like national security courts?
We can't move forward with national security courts unless and until we work with Congress. The Constitution says that it's Congress's power, not anybody else's, to constitute, as it says, such inferior courts as Congress may from time to time create.
Right. Okay. How about with respect to any new surveillance tools that you believe are needed that are outside of FISA, rather than stretch or ignore FISA?
I'm not in favor generally of stretching or ignoring. On the other hand, I don't know what tools are going to come to hand or to mind.
I'm not asking the specifics. I'm just asking if it's your opinion that the law ignores FISA or stretches it in a somewhat contorted way, would you suggest going to Congress?
I would certainly suggest that we go to Congress whenever we can. It always strengthens the hand of the President.
Right. Thank you.
Do that.
Jack Goldsmith also writes, he said it was said hundreds of times in the White House that the President and Vice President wanted to leave the presidency stronger than they found it. In fact, at least in my opinion, they seem to have achieved the opposite. They borrowed against the power of future presidencies, these are Goldsmith's words, complete. They borrowed against the power of future presidencies that, at least until the next attack, and probably even the following one, will be viewed by Congress and the courts, whose assistance they need, with a harmful suspicion and mistrust because of the unnecessary unilateralism of the Bush years. The last Attorney General, by all accounts, was not much more than a potted plant or a rubber stamp behind closed doors when the subject turned to working with Congress. I want to know what attitude and approach you will bring to those discussions. Do you agree that unilateralism is a bad idea?
Unilateralism across the board is a bad idea.